Little light, lead us through the night. And if we die, burn down the forest.
Hey guys, Faithful Slave back finally with the rest of the 7 questions that I would like answered by Jehovah's Witnesses. Some people I want to thank is Evie Brooklyn, Mike and Kim, Israel Ricky Gonzalez, Son of Thunder. How you doing, Eric? I also want to thank Joel, the Unwitness. Thank you guys for helping me put this together. So let's get started with question number 4. Is disfellowshipping scriptural? Well, consider the following. The Watchtower hasn't always practiced shunning. In fact, in the January 8th, 1947 Awake, it says, if you are one of the 138 million people in the world that were born and raised as Protestants, then you are already excommunicated by the Roman Catholic hierarchy. Move down there. The authority for excommunication, they claim, is based on the teachings of Christ and the apostles as found in the following scriptures. But the hierarchy's excommunication as a punishment and medicinal remedy finds no support in these scriptures. In fact, it is altogether foreign to Bible teachings. Where, then, did this practice originate? The Encyclopedia Britannica says that papal excommunication is not without pagan influence. Move down again. It was therefore after Catholicism adopted its pagan practices that this new chapter in religious excommunication was written. So it was pagan in origin, is what they used to say. It was not until 1952 that the Watchtower introduced disfellowshipping as now practiced. There is no biblical justification for the extent to which the Watchtower practices this unchristian form of manipulation. Though there is scriptural precedence to limit association with brothers practicing wrongdoing, the Watchtower application of disfellowshipping seriously deviates from Bible guidelines.
Evie Brooklyn did a video. Loved you. Loved the video. Yeah. Love you, sweetie. It was great because she is covering the 1947 Awake about excommunication and how the Catholic Church, witnesses are condemning the Catholic Church in this article for excommunication, and they use the same scriptures to prove it a pagan practice that they use now to convince witnesses that this is discipline from Jehovah.
Yeah, you can name it Jehovah's Witnesses excommunication. You can name it shunning. You can name it disfellowshipping, and you can even classify it as discipline from Jehovah. But it amounts to the very same thing. But yet what Jehovah's Witnesses don't realize that in this Watchtower article that Evie was referring to and that Kim just mentioned, disfellowshipping, excommunication, discipline from Jehovah, Watchtower qualifies it as being a pagan practice. Welcome to the world of paganism. Do you see how ridiculous?
I hear you, Mike and Kim. Thanks a lot. Moving on to question number 5. Do the witnesses use the name Jehovah because it is the most accurate name of God? Well, this one's actually pretty easy. In fact, I'm going to refer you over to a clip from Jeffrey Jackson, a governing body member. Let's hear what he has to say on this topic.
Is that they don't know the exact pronunciation of the original name. Some scholars feel that the original pronunciation was closer to Yahweh rather than Jehovah. Let's establish why we use the pronunciation Jehovah in English. Is it because it's the closest pronunciation to the original? No. We use the name Jehovah because it's widely recognized in English.
Question number 6. Does Jehovah really feel that blood transfusions are the same as eating blood? Well, in answering this one, I'm going to refer you over to the Son of Thunder, one of his videos that he made.
Now, the Bible does relate in Leviticus 17 that God prohibits the eating of blood, not just for health reasons, but also because God said that the blood was sacred. Now, the Watchtower admits that this is referring specifically to the eating of blood. Matthew 12 has the answer. It reads, "At that time Jesus went through the grain fields on the Sabbath. His disciples got hungry and started to pluck heads of grain and to eat. At seeing this, the Pharisees said to him, 'Look, your disciples are doing what is not lawful to do on the Sabbath.' He said to them, 'Have you not read what David did when he and the men with him were hungry? Or have you not read in the law that on the Sabbaths the priests in the temple violate the Sabbath and continue guiltless? But I tell you that something greater than the temple is here. However, if you had understood what this means, 'I want mercy and not sacrifice,' you would not have condemned the guiltless ones," or the innocent. Now they broke the law, and the scriptures say they were innocent just because they were hungry. Imagine that. Now what about if your life's on the line?
Thanks, Eric. Some really good points. Now, the Watchtower compares blood to alcohol, saying that drinking alcohol and putting it into your veins achieves the very same thing, and blood should be treated no different. If God says you don't eat blood, then you don't put it in your veins either. But is this illustration really reasonable? Well, let's consider two things: the motives behind each of these situations and the handling. You know, there really is no good reason to eat blood. It doesn't achieve anything for us. There's no point to it. And we all know that drinking alcohol or putting it in your veins achieves the same purpose. Just gets you drunk. But let's consider what can be achieved by putting blood into our veins. Many times, it could mean the difference between life and death. The other thing to consider is the handling. You know, if someone is eating blood, it's really likely that it's going to be messy, unclean, and quite frankly, gross. It makes sense that God would frown upon that practice of eating blood. Now, on the other hand, blood transfusions are always done in a very sanitary, clean, and respectful way. Comparing blood transfusions to alcoholism is probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm going to quote my buddy Joel when he said, "Come on, governing body, what would Jesus do?" As we saw in that clip from Eric, the son of thunder, Jesus demanded mercy over sacrifice. We have no reason to believe that Jehovah feels that eating of blood is the same thing as a blood transfusion. Blood transfusions save lives. Finally, we come to question number 7. Does it really make sense to be afraid of non-Jehovah's Witness information? Well, to help me answer this one, I've called upon my buddy Israel Ricky Gonzalez. Let's hear what he has to say.
So the question is, should you fear non-Jehovah's Witness information? No, you shouldn't. As a matter of fact, you should welcome that information, because honestly, have you really fact-checked what was printed in the magazines? When you start doing that, you soon realize that they were very dishonest with you. And so once that kind of bubble is popped and you're no longer living in that JW bubble, it just kind of opens up a whole world of beliefs and information that's out there. Then it becomes your personalized journey. And really, you make the truth your own. The witnesses used to say that, make the truth your own. And that still applies even after you leave the religion. You make the truth your own. You do that by your own research and investigation. And you should question often your beliefs. And if they can't stand up to critical thinking or honest criticism, then it's time to really question what you believe in. Discarding something and starting from scratch. But should you fear non-Jehovah's Witness information? To that I say no.
Thanks, Ricky G. You blew that one right out of the water. Couldn't agree more. The only other thing that I would have to add is that a saying I like to use: the truth has no reason to fear a lie, but the lie has every reason to fear the truth. So many of you may be wondering, why now? why make this video when half of these points you've already pretty much covered in previous videos? Well, one reason is because it forces me to be sharp. I have a notebook here that I just fill with research that I've done, and I've got all the points from these videos written neatly and put together because I am planning something. A little sneak peek. I'm going back to the Kingdom Hall. Yeah, the next couple of weeks I will be going back to the local Kingdom Hall wearing the generation that will not pass away on my shirt. I mean, they can't really kick me out just for wearing a t-shirt, especially if all it has depicted on it is one of their magazine covers. You can't get kicked out for that, right? That would be crazy. You can't say that I'm causing a disturbance, because all I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, I'm going to wear the shirt, and try to start conversations. Can you get kicked out for that? Would you consider that a disruption? Well, hey, we'll see, won't we? So be looking forward to that. The other thing that I wanted to give you guys a heads up on is I am probably going to slow down on my video making. I'm planning on this big one coming up, going back to the meeting. But other than that, I'm probably going to be slowing down a little bit. I'm focusing on my writing. I am officially announcing that I am writing a book. It's a fiction novel. You know, I don't want to give away too much, but it's a fictional novel based on the world beliefs, the doctrines of Jehovah's Witnesses. And I think that's all I'm going to say right now. But I'm hoping to be done with it sometime in July, August maybe. And I'm really excited about it. Every chapter is just like more and more fun to write. And I really can't wait to share that with you guys. So, yeah, just kind of wanted to let you know what I'm up to. And so if I slow down on the videos in the upcoming months, you'll know why. Because I am hard at work putting together something that I think all of us will enjoy and take away some new thought processes along the way. Guys, thank you very much for watching, and thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for all your feedback. Thank you for debating the crazies that get on my videos and try to defend the Jehovah's Witnesses when clearly they can't. Thank you for all that. I notice, and you know, I wish I could have all of you a part of my day-to-day life. Unfortunately, that's not possible, but I tell you what, we are the vast apostate army, and united we stand, divided we fall. Keep doing what you do.